says sounds good.
Okay, good.
So Nanette's going to call in and I'm going to answer the phone.
Well, is that a comment on the contents of the show or the quality of the
Nanette?
audio? Yeah.
JC was asked to look at the video and the audio and tell me if it was good. He says it's good. All good.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And that to me is important. And I just asked Nanette, and I know there's a delay over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting to get a phone call.
So speaking of freedom versus security, this is a really exciting time in Supreme Court news.
Nanette?
Okay.
Hold on, I've got to put you on speakerphone. Nanette, are you there?
People will have to be on pins and needles about that.
Okay, well, you're on summary judgment. We're live here in Central Connecticut. It's our understanding that you're down in the Houston area.
Yes.
And J.C. Playford's trying to call in, but I'm going to tell him to wait.
We'll get him later.
But I told you last night, call in and tell your story. I don't know if we can help you. I don't think we can. But you can now put it out there for everybody to hear.
Okay, so this started out because of a non-existent. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to turn your TV set or your computer volume down because there's a delay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this started out over a business property tax on a non-existent business in an empty house. And I didn't realize that they were charging me that. So when I paid my property taxes, they would put part of the money to that and leave me in arrears.
Hmm.
And kept adding these extra accounts to my property tax account and continued to charge those and leave me in arrears, and I couldn't figure out why I was in arrears, and it kept getting worse and worse to the point I couldn't pay the taxes anymore.
Okay, Nanette, let me see if I can set this up based on our conversation last night. You have certain serious medical issues.
Yes.
I told you last night that it sounded like your body was a medical sewer. You know, she's got so many issues. That's
mostly bedridden.
That's one item. Number two, you own multiple residential properties in the Houston area.
Yes.
You own the house you live in, correct?
Yes.
And you own how many other properties?
4.
So you own a total of 5 pieces of property.
Yes.
And you exist, I would assume, based on rental income from those other properties.
Yes.
And under normal circumstances, a residential house is considered a residential house. Does it look like a house?
Yes.
Is it the size of a house?
Yes.
Well then, it's not a 3-story brick business building, right?
Right.
But I would imagine that because they're rental properties, somebody's trying to tax you as business property.
Well, they never were rental properties until the last few months. The last year I got them rented, but they already ran off 2 of my renters by sending them letters telling them they're going to have to move out because I'm being foreclosed on. So
Wow.
I've lost renters. I only have one home now supporting me, and in 2 weeks they're going to be at my home with guns to put me in the street, and shortly after that, they will take my other houses. I've never had a single day in court. I submitted ADA requests saying I'm bedridden, I pass out or, go unconscious and sleep for days, weeks, or months on end. I can be dizzy, have muscle cramps that make me scream uncontrollably, just like out of the blue, maybe scream in court. So I can't go to a courthouse, and my ADAs were not respected, and they were just ran over, and default judgments were gotten against me.
Because you didn't show up in court.
Right.
Okay, now hold on, Nanette, hold on a minute. Right now, today, in May of 2020, courts across the country are conducting their business electronically by Zoom or whatever. Governments have gone to, for example, it's my understanding now from Jerry Nance out in California that the San Diego courthouses are now streaming their criminal proceedings in the courtroom live. You can log on and watch what's going on in the San Diego.
Well, that gets back to what you were saying, Ed. You take a situation, like you said, the politicians were taking a situation and using it to their own benefit. Well, this search situation is just shooting us light years ahead with regard to transparency.
So what I'm saying to Nanette is, she asked for an ADA accommodation to be able to, I guess, like Skype into the court.
And I'm sure they said it was impossible, right?
Nanette?
Well, a lot of times they wouldn't answer me at all or wouldn't give me a hearing. I know the last federal court I tried to get my ADAs and get into a hearing. I called continually asking for one, and I was told the judge is busy, she'll get to you when she can, and she'll probably just make a ruling. And I thought, okay, that means I get my ADAs and my hearing. I finally get a day in court to say, hey, this all needs to be audited. I've been charged for things that it wasn't there. There was no business. And so I was hoping that I would get a hearing, and instead I got my case dismissed.
Right. And I think I'm not familiar with your case, but I suspect that the reason it was dismissed is the federal courts have a rule. It's called the Rooker-Feldman Doctrine, where they stay out of state court proceedings. They don't allow you to relitigate court state proceedings in federal court, especially if the proceeding has already concluded. And it's an abomination that it applies to the ADA under Title II, which applies to courts, because what other redress is there if the state courts are denying you accommodations under the ADA and you in court, and you can't appeal that to the federal courts, then really there's no such thing as accommodations in state courts. And that's what you ran into.
Right, and the problem is, and a lot, I guess attorneys don't know this either, but I was shown by Richard Cornforth, and I'd like you to have him on your show at some point, that Rooker-Feldman was actually overturned 20 years ago.
Well, they still use it all the time.
They do, and that's another problem, is that they have gotten my case dismissed and overturned on Rooker-Feldman, and it's not even, it doesn't even hold anymore.
Nanette, I need to ask some questions. So you have, in addition to the house you live in, you have 4 other properties.
Yeah.
Now you're saying that they were not rented?
No, and they actually charged the business property tax in a company named LLC. I've never operated an LLC.
Okay. What I think that what I'm trying to say is, you had these houses and they were just sitting there empty?
Yes,
For how long?
several years. I was very, very sick.
Okay, I got you. Now, so they consider them to be business properties and were taxing you accordingly.
Yes.
All of them.
All of them. Except the one she lives in, obviously, right?
I believe I'm not sure if they charged it on the one I live in.
Okay,
I don't
now.
believe so. I don't know. But
How-
he's taxing them all
Huh.
to the same case.
How much
So they could leave.
How much are the 4 properties, other than the one you live in, the 4 properties worth on the open market?
For, around maybe 600,000, 600.
150 each.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I have one that's about 250, so.
Okay. Well, let's say, let's just use 600,000. How much do you owe in taxes, penalties, and interest?
Well, that's another problem is that I never could get a straight answer, and they would give us 3 different answers on the same day. I had an advocate, an attorney, and myself all speaking to them on the same day when I was trying to get an injunction, and it looked like I may not get a temporary injunction, which ended up helping me, but on the same day, they were giving us 3 different answers on every paper I have shows different. I don't know. That's so
Okay. Then that.
it's from the beginning. I have never known, and it's just give us more money, give us more money, give us more
Right.
money.
Then that. I don't care about the lowest 2. What's the highest number they said that you owe?
The highest they said I owe on, I believe, my house was 90,000.
Just your house.
Yes.
Okay. But you must have a number of how much you owe for all of your rental properties. The highest number they told you.
This is what I think. I think around 75,000.
Total.
I'm not sure. That's what I'm telling you. I
Okay.
can't get any straight answers. I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I'm not trying to upset you. I'm trying to figure out that if you have, say, $600,000, $700,000 worth of real estate, and they're going to come in and they're going to foreclose on all of your properties, they could foreclose on one and satisfy the debt.
Yes.
So when you said that you think they're coming to foreclose in the immediate future, right? Did you say next week or the week after? Is there a date?
They already sold my house while I was unconscious.
Wow.
And
So they're evicting her.
they sold it for 10% of the value, and then they kept all the proceeds on a $750,000 home. All I had left after fighting them was my property. My money is gone. All I had left was the property. They've already sold my house, and they're coming with guns in 2 weeks to remove me.
What did they do with the 4 rental properties?
They're about to sell them too. I can't stop them. I've tried.
Did you owe any?
And
Did you owe any money on any of your pieces of property?
Well, they're saying she did.
No.
Oh, equity.
Did you have any bank loans on the properties?
none of them. I paid cash for all of them.
So all of your property was owned cash, debt-free?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't believe that the government can, if they sell the property for more than you owe, they have to give you the difference. I kind of know that as a fact.
Well, she's saying they sold the one house. I think the house
For 10 cents on a dollar.
Right. So.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if
Well, that
somebody,
would still be more than she owed.
yeah, it could still be more than she owed in taxes.
Right.
Somebody's got to give her some money.
Right. So what state court entered these default judgments? In Houston?
One in Montgomery County and one in Houston.
Okay.
Wow.
And I guess you've been dealing with some town clerk or some tax collector in trying to get information about what's going on?
I tried, but like I said, I never can get a straight answer to ever pay them. I've never tried to pay something so hard in my life, and I never could get them paid because I couldn't figure out what shenanigans they were pulling.
And
When I finally found out these accounts were business accounts for an LLC, which I never operated, I started trying to address it, but nobody's hearing me, and I'm too sick and have memory and cognitive problems, and I'm having a real difficulty fighting them because I stay passed out, and then they get these default judgments against me for not showing up. I can't get anyone to hear me, and I'm terrified because in 2 weeks they're going to be here with guns. I have nobody here with me. I'm alone. I don't have any family here. I don't have anything. I've been shut in and isolated and terrified.
so, Lynette, the information that I was trying to get about who you've been dealing with is so that anybody listening in the Houston area may have an idea based on who you've been in contact with and may be able to offer some input on this. So,
Right.
so
Listen,
wait, I gotta
Okay.
finish this.
All right.
I don't care.
To the caller that's calling in, call back when we're off the phone with Annette.
Yeah, so Montgomery County Court, Houston Court, I'm assuming Houston has more than one court, right? Is,
Yes.
okay,
Well, this is
do you know what
the
district?
151st.
Okay, so the Houston court at 151st, I'm assuming that's a street, right? And then what tax assessor have you been dealing with, or where's the town city hall located that you've been dealing with?
There's one in Houston and one in Conroe.
Okay, so those are where the properties are located, in those two locations?
Yes.
Okay, so if anybody...
Well, no. The 4 houses are in Tomball, and my house is in Magnolia.
Okay, there we go.
So people down there will know what that means. People watching in Houston will know what that's
Here's how we're
talking
gonna do this.
about. Yep.
Nanette, what's your last name and spell it?
Carley. C-A-R-L-E-Y.
Carley, C-A-R-L-E-Y. Your first name is Nanette, correct?
Yes.
Oh,
And
sorry.
now, what towns are your properties located in? Either town or county.
Tomball, which is Harris County, and Magnolia, which is Montgomery County.
Okay, so we have the name of the 2 towns and the counties that the towns are in. Anybody
Yes.
listening in the Houston area should be able to call up or walk into a tax collector's office or a tax assessor's office for those communities and provide them with Nanette Carley's name, and there will be tax records that should be able to look at without any cost, to simply look at them on the counter in the assessor's
I mean,
office.
they may be online,
They could be.
and I don't know if, they're open down there for business, if people can walk in right now, but
But what I'm saying is, the assessor would have the values of the properties,
Mhm.
and the tax collector would have the documents that will show how much Nanette is alleged to owe on each one of the 5 pieces of property, what town they're in. But do you understand me, Nanette?
I do, and I'm telling you, they give different answers on the same day.
well,
Nanette,
the more attention it gets, maybe they'll be compelled to explain themselves. That's
listen,
all.
we gotta go. We'll be back next Saturday.
Keep
Keep us posted.
and call us again, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Nanette.
Bye-bye.
Okay.